Anyway, it's time for us to learn how to say it right.
Something must be done.
You say. So I am surprised that Chelsea had to fire Frank Lampard yesterday. Yes, it's obvious they are not performing well, but worst case scenario, Chelsea should be able to at least get into the top four with the kind of performance they were exhibiting. And that for me is a surprise element. Now, just take notice of how I said it. I said worst case scenario. Many of us are tempted to say worst case scenario. But if you want to say it right, it is worst case scenario. And so just keep that in mind. If you want to say it right, then it is worst case scenario. All right, guys, so let's get into the newspaper reviews brought to us by Flora Disposable Handkerchief from Delta Paper Mill Limited. What do we have as headlines this morning in Nemo and Fred?
Okay, let me start with the Ghanaian Times this morning. And the banner headline, upsurge in COVID-19 cases. Government will enforce stricter measures if. That's Kojo Nkrumah. And obviously the if is if the numbers continue to rise as they steadily have been. The GMA yesterday released, they wrote to us, as I like to call it, telling us that the cases are about 600 new cases every day. So they are very, very worried. Kojo Nkrumah was speaking, as well as Dr. Patrick Kuma Abuaje, also talking about the fact that if the numbers continue to rise, the government will have to enforce stricter and tighter measures to control the disease. I'm not sure if that is looking like a lockdown. They were not specific when it came to lockdown, but obviously when we talk about restrictions being imposed, your mind automatically goes there. And also just letting us know what's going on with the disease. The cases are mainly in the Greater Accra region. Also West and Korle Klottey municipalities are the epicenters, as well as a few other. There is a positive rate of 8.3%, cumulative positive rate. And Dr. Kuma Abuaje also said that people who were sick from the disease is about 32%. So I guess that number has gone up as well. So I guess what he's saying is that at first we had a lot more asymptomatic cases, but now 32 out of 100 cases that are coming in are very, very sick. Also, he said that 133 out of the 400 beds are available at the ICU. That's scary. So 400 beds, we have 133 left. You don't want to have to go to the hospital right now. Yesterday there were so many Facebook posts and Twitter posts about people who had gone to hospitals and had seen people sitting outside with their oxygen masks because their beds were full. People who were sitting outside, being treated, and they have COVID-19. So we can't close our eyes and say that situation is getting better. It's definitely getting worse. But let me do the other stories on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. GMA raises concern over crowd turnout at Rawlings' funeral. Hundreds more on Rawlings, more to file past remains today. Fire destroys goods worth over 2.7 million Ghana cedis at Wa KJTM market. Oh gosh, on the back page, water crisis hits Tamale metropolis and its environment. This is really not the time to have a water crisis. Really, really not the time. I mean, there's never a good time, but especially now. FDA destroys unwholesome products in Koforidua. That's it for the Ghanaian Times.
Well, the Daily Graphic here. Tears flow as mourners bid farewell to Rawlings. Photos from yesterday's laying in state of former President Jerry Rawlings there. GHS intensifies community surveillance for COVID-19 variant. Election petition, Mahama files fresh application to amend processes. And on the back page, restricts numbers at former President Rawlings' funeral. GMA urges government. And in the center spread, some more photos from Rawlings' laying in state yesterday.
Okay, let me move on to the Daily Guide. And an interesting story that caught my attention on the back page of the Daily Guide. I won't agree to COVID-19 vaccines. So Tottenham manager Jose Mourinho has said that he will not insist that his players be part of the first batch of people who will receive vaccines because he doesn't think that they are a priority, especially because a lot of them are young and healthy, and he feels that there are a lot more people who need the vaccine other than the players. So that's that. Obviously the Burnley boss disagrees. Anyway, so that's football. Yes, we'll get into it later. Chelsea sack Lampard. Players, president killed in plane crash. May their souls rest in peace. On the front page of the Daily Guide, Flight Lieutenant Rawlings honored, lies in state at AICC. Mahama begs court to amend his petition again. And we're back in court this morning. Indian envoy Lord's Napo impact rejects Mahama delay tactics. That's according to Nana. And Winston, this will be a little bit interesting for you. Earnings of wealthiest 10 men during the pandemic could buy vaccines for all. So apparently during the period that we've had coronavirus, the 10 wealthiest men in the world have earned enough just during this period to be able to buy vaccines for the whole world. So they've earned $540 billion during this pandemic. And if they gave that away, that would alleviate COVID and the poverty that's associated with COVID. And of course, these include Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and
They should do that.
Bill
They should do
Gates.
that.
Yeah, but during the period of the pandemic, the survey they did has also indicated that the poverty gap has actually widened. So
yeah.
The rich men have become richer, the poor have become poorer.
Well,
And
it also
that's,
says that
yeah.
if Jeff Bezos gave all his 876,000 employees $105,000, he would only go back to how much he was worth before the pandemic.
Wow.
That's a lot of money. Okay, so the Dutch Prime Minister as well has condemned COVID-19 riots as criminal. So the Dutch are rioting against the restrictions that have been put down. So they are on a curfew from 9 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. in the Netherlands. You're not allowed to go out. And they started rioting, but also because their numbers have really gone up. 962,000 cases and 13,000 confirmed deaths from COVID-19. So that's what's happening around the world, and that's the Daily Guide.
The Finder, GIJ shuts down after recording COVID-19 cases. My father was passionate about a lot of things. Zaneto Rawlings says that academic work progresses steadily in some SHS in Accra. COVID-19 spikes is a recipe for lockdown. Upon Nkrumah emphasizes observance of safety protocols. Only 3 students infected with COVID-19 since school reopened. That's according to Ghana Health Service. Let's restrict social activities. The Ghana Medical Association says that MTN Ghana gets approval to buy back 1 million shares.
Fred, I have a
to-
problem with that headline.
Which one?
Only 3 students infected since school reopened. I get what they are trying to
Please,
say.
you just
But
take
if
only out. And
But if your child was one of the only and they died, that's your whole world that has ended.
Well,
So
in
there
fact-
it shouldn't be a headline only 3. There's nothing like only when it comes to COVID-19.
In fact, 3 is a lot because this is an infectious disease. I mean, it spreads very fast, and so if you have even 1, that's the problem.
That's I mean-
they are in an area where they don't have the supervision of their parents.
Exactly.
They are teachers who cannot be with them 24/7.
Anyway, let's move on to the day. Let's just let's report things. This only bit anyway. Let me just move on. The Daily Statesman. Farewell, Jerry John Rawlings. Another lockdown may hit Ghana. There's a picture of Kojo Nkrumah, Information Minister designate, underneath that headline. Government worried about rising trend of what there should be of COVID-19 cases to continue or to stay proceedings. Supreme Court rules on Mohammed's application today, and lots of football on the back page of the Daily Statesman.
The New Crusading Guide, Mahama files application to amend his petition again. GMA calls for restrictions on public gathering as COVID cases surge. LCB worldwide and GHS move to curb COVID-19 at funeral of former President Rawlings. And GJ eulogizes Rawlings for his contributions to Ghana's democracy.
The Business and Financial Times. So 61% of male informal traders are not wearing masks. That's according to a study that was done. Emirates to play key role in industry rebound. Thousands pay last respect as nation mourns first president of the Fourth Republic. GRA taps data scientists to go after tax deviants, especially high net worth individuals. This seems to be a worldwide phenomenon that a lot of people are talking about taxing the rich more, obviously, like you said, because the gap has increased. So here in Ghana, I guess we're looking to the same thing. FDIs won't make continent. I'm tempted to be drawn into the debate of whether the fact that I am earning more money means I should be taxed more. I mean, if I'm working and I'm being ingenious and I'm doing the best, why do I have to pay? But then again, it's a kind of like a moral argument. But you're like, well, you should give to the poor.
Well, the poor doesn't even have to pay. So if you are earning more, pay more.
The thing is that if we're taxing you,
it's easy to say that because we don't have that much money.
but
But I'm
if
feeling like if I had a lot of money, I would be annoyed if I was
Who
just
told
asked
you?
to.
I have a lot of money.
No, so you're willing to.
You know, well, if we're taxing you to contribute to the development of the state, the whole idea of taxing is to contribute to the development of the
So-
state.
Exactly.
But shouldn't it be voluntary then?
No, taxation is not voluntary.
No, I'm saying after a certain
Yes,
threshold, because
and-
the demand is give more,
And
more.
so
We are going to
the-
tax you
the
more.
The point is, once you start a business, because they want re-injection of cash into your business, you're giving tax holidays. The moment you start earning more, you should be able to pay more. Of course, there's always tax avoidance, which is legal. Tax evasion is illegal. If you find ways and means and you avoid payment, that's up to you. But try and pay your taxes if you have more. Contribute more to the well-being of the Ghanaian.
Indeed, because the overall objective is to raise a certain amount to develop the country.
look at
If
where
you are
we find
unable,
ourselves.
if there are more people
Are
who
we seeing that development? That is
well,
the
that's another conversation we can have as to whether
Yeah.
we are applying the funds we're getting from taxation to develop. It's another conversation, but the first thing is to get people to pay the money. Then we can ensure that the money is used for the right things.
No, if the people are seeing the development,
Hold on.
Sammy, come and take a mic.
Hold on. The point is, if you make earnings, you must contribute a certain percentage to the state.
to do what?
For the state to use those contributions to develop the nation. So the point is, you must do your part of the bargain. Then you now take the state on if the state is not doing the right
Exactly.
We seeing that.
thing. So pay. Then
Pay
after
first.
paying,
It's like
you go
Rutos. Are we
tell,
seeing the development?
after
No,
paying,
but so
then you
you-
can take the state on.
Yes,
what I mean?
so you
There's a
must
microphone
pay
here.
to have
There's a microphone
you
here,
must
Sammy,
pay
Sammy.
to have the moral right to hold
Exactly.
somebody to
Are we not
account.
paying?
A lot of people.
I
don't
feel
pay.
like you guys have moved the conversation away from what I was talking about. But anyway, okay, so my last story on the front page of the Business and Financial Times: FDIs won't make continent lose after benefits, and that's it for the Business and Financial Times.
Well, the Chronicle and Lord Chiefs snub JJ's funeral as they will not, they say they will not be part of it. Ex-NPP chair bemoans dwindling fortunes of party in mining areas. Politics, a battleground for northern professionals. And on the back page of the Chronicle, Chelsea sacked Lampard, Thomas Tuchel to replace him. And yeah,
That's it.
Chelsea.
Right, so let's get to our online news review, and it's brought to us by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goyle Good Energy. So, you know, going cashless has not been this convenient because and exciting because now Goyle e-payment system is compatible with GH-Link, the national payment platform. And now you can use your GH-Link card on Goyle POS machine to purchase fuel, and GH-Link card offers additional payment options for fuel purchases at Goyle stations in addition to the Goyle card. And every fuel purchase is recorded automatically on your monthly bank statement, helping cardholders to track and manage their expenses. So go ahead and use your GH-Link card to buy fuel and all lubricants from any of Goyle's over 400 stations across Ghana. Go cashless and protect yourself and stick to all COVID-19 protocols in these times. Goyle, good energy. Goyle, Yenara, Yenze. But wafini. 2021 is definitely your year. So don't just insure your car, insure Nafili. Insure your car with Enterprise for an amazing surprise. Get free fuel coupons, free sanitizers, and more. 2021 is definitely your year. So insure your car with Enterprise and win. Dream big with us. Enterprise Insurance, your advantage. But terms and conditions apply. So let's get to myjoyonline.com and allow me to demonstrate further that your ruling was contrary to law. Mahama to the Supreme Court. And there's possibility of a lockdown, tighter restrictions. That's according to Kojo Nkrumah. And I'm just wondering, I mean, last week when I asked Martin Kpebu that question about, EI 164, the wearing of masks and the fines. Well, the Ghana Police Service sent me the law and told me that those restrictions were passed in June and have expired. And so if we're talking about tighter restrictions, we have to go back. The police tells me that as it stands now, the arrest they're doing so even without any law backing them. Let's get to citynewsroom.com. And it says COVID-19 Occupy Ghana calls for ban on social gatherings, and Supreme Court resumes hearing of election petition today. Let's get to BBC and find out what's making news on BBC. Now, EU to tighten vaccine exports amid AstraZeneca row and protecting Zimbabwe's special grandmothers from COVID, and no romance in Lampard exits. Right, so let's go now for the BBC News. It's brought to us by Fidelity Bank, Believe With Us, and Provident Insurance Company Limited. With Provident, man, you're covered. But first, some few messages.
Hey, Baba, Charlie, I want a haircut. Quick, I have somewhere to be before noon.
Charlie, why in so much hurry? It's a woman, huh?
I want to use the bank in the city to get some money out.
All the way in the city. But Charlie, say I be FBN Bank Ghana agent. I help all my customers and neighbors make deposits into their account, withdrawals, transfer funds, pay bills, and receive money. This is my side hustle.
Charlie, I beg. I don't know. Help me pay when you finish, yeah?
Charlie, that's it. Thank you for patronizing.
Want to make deposits, withdrawals, pay bills, or send money